Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. A report has come out that the New York Knicks are among teams interested in Rockets guard Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo's stint in Houston has been interesting. The way he arrived was interesting. He came over in a big trade following a massive trade, as the Nets acquired James Harden from the Rockets for Karis LeVert and several other pieces, and LeVert was subsequently sent to Indiana in exchange for Oladipo. And his reported attitude upon arrival was interesting too, given that he didn't want to stay very long. The team's success since his arrival has been interesting. They're on a 6-game winning streak as we speak and are posting historic defensive numbers in the process. And his future is interesting too, for as well as he's played in Houston, he's averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists and 1 steal per game. The trade buzz won't leave him alone whether or not it remains his desire to move on from the Rockets. The latest report connects him with the New York Knicks, among other teams. Bleacher Report's A. Sherrod Blakely writes that the Knicks' success has come in large part due to Julius Randle, presenting an interesting dilemma to their front office. They can either sell high on Randle, given that their preseason expectations were low and that they're largely seen as a rebuilding franchise. Alternatively, they could ride the wave of success that Randle's strong play has brought the team and look to improve upon their 9-13 start by bringing in a guard with scoring chops and winning experience. Sound like anyone you might know. That's where Oladipo comes into play, and Blakely says the Knicks will be closely monitoring the impending free agents' play leading up to the deadline and beyond. Blakely also adds Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham, both for the Charlotte Hornets, as names to watch for the Knicks. All fit the bill as guards with high scoring capabilities, though the contrast between Oladipo and Graham is pretty stark in many aspects. When Oladipo was reportedly growing unhappy in Indiana, Brandon Scoop B. Robinson reported that the Knicks were among the interested teams, so he's been in the front office's sight in previous years. So the Knicks, Suns, Raptors, Nets, Heat, and Timberwolves all have interest in Indiana Pacers guard Victor Oladipo. Timberwolves number 1 overall pick in 2020 NBA draft not in play, I'm hearing. The Knicks are currently 11th in the East, but with teams like the Hornets, Cavs, and Bulls occupying spots ahead of them, an AFC certainly seems within reach should they add another legitimate threat and supply Julius Randle with another 20-point per game threat. So basically, man, Oladipo, where would he best fit at? Like, that's the question. Oladipo his play has never been bad. He's always been a good to great player, almost on the cusp of superstardom. My problem is he can't finish at the hoop with his left, and he's not real good going to his left at times. But other than that, man, he can pass. He can play the point. He can play the off guard very well. He's really a two guard. He could play off the ball as well as with the ball in his hands. With the ball in his hands, he's a little more dangerous and scary for teams. Now, the problem I have here is this, and I don't want people to think of anything. To me, I think Terry Rozier would be a better fit. Him and Graham would be better fits in New York to me than Oladipo. And here's why. Because Oladipo and RJ Barrett do practically the same thing. Now, I know Terry Rozier is a guy who's a scoring guard. He's going to dominate the ball a little bit. But at the same time, I could have Barrett playing much better off of Rozier than Oladipo. To me, him and Oladipo would get in each other's way. But if he was to go to the Knicks, I think they would make it fit. What I would do is I would have RJ running the point a little bit like they've been doing now. And Oladipo at times I would have him, do his thing with the ball in his hand, scoring, passing, defensively. He's very underrated. To me, he's one of the best defenders in the league. He doesn't get enough credit for that. And also Julius Randle, how would he fit with Randle? I think his personality would be fitting well with Randle. To me, I think the best place he ought to go to me is Miami. Now, Miami isn't looking good right now because they've been hit with the COVID. Jimmy Butler has lost a lot of weight. I'm going to talk about that coming up on one of these days about his weight loss. But I mean, he's playing great with the Rockets because John Wall is a guy who's a point guard. He doesn't really need to be that top-notch scorer. Like I said, with him and Bradley Beal, it used to work. It's just that John Wall would get hurt all the time. And with Oladipo is very good at attacking the basket, shooting the mid-range, as well as shooting the three. And he gives you problems on the defensive end because of his ability to pass the ball. He's a very underrated passer, especially when he played in Orlando. When he was moved to the point guard position, he was destroying teams because they didn't think he could pass that well from certain points on the court, and he was able to. Now with Indiana, that's when his stardom came out, and OKC, it was kind of hard for him because Westbrook dominates the ball. But he would fit good with the Knicks. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. To me it'll be too many guards down there. Now, the Raptors is interesting. The Raptors to me would be a great fit as well because him and Van Fleet could be the backcourt. Kyle Lowry, to me, you could push Kyle Lowry to the bench and have Kyle Lowry come off the bench, or you can have Fred Van Fleet come off the bench. It'll be a nasty 3-guard rotation with those guys. He would fit in well, and he's a playmaker. He could be that alpha dog, that top dog for that team that team needs, because Siakam could turn into the third or fourth option. The Suns, I mean, I don't think he'll fit the Suns well. He'll be good. Chris Paul will learn how to work with him, but I just don't like him with the Suns. I think and people said the Nets have an interest in him. I don't think the Nets need him. The Nets need a big man. The Nets don't need Oladipo. They need a big man. Timberwolves, that could work with D'Lo, him and D'Lo in the backcourt. I think that could work because him and D'Lo could work off each other. But to me, I think the Heat would be the best choice, or the Raptors. I think the Raptors or Heat would be very good. But if he does go to the Knicks, it would be interesting. It would be interesting for them basically because what he would add is scoring, facilitating, and defense. He would add to that team. And to me, what you could do, him and Elfrid Payton will team up again. You probably could put him and Payton in the backcourt and move Barrett to the 3, because Barrett could play the 3. He could play the 1, 2, and the 3. So you could do something like that. But to me, I think he would be a better fit for the Raptors and a better fit for the Heat. That's just me and how I look at it. But look out for that Terry Rozier and that Daniel Graham, because what they might do is move them to and move LaMelo as the starting point guard. Be on the lookout for that, because I think those two guys will be, if they go to a team who's on the cusp of playoffs or on the cusp of a championship aspirations, that could be dangerous, because Terry Rozier can give you a bucket every night, and he could play defense. He's feisty. Devontae Graham is a great facilitator to me. Well, a good facilitator. He's not great yet, hasn't reached that status yet, but he's a good facilitator, good guy who could play the defense. More unselfish than selfish. Whereas Rozier is a guy who's going to be selfish trying to get his points. But to me, those two guys, I will look for them. Look out for where they could go, because if the Knicks go get them instead of going to get Oladipo, that would be great, because I think Devontae Graham would be the better point for the Knicks, and Rozier could run that. Could be a guy who could come in and give you that scoring when you need it. But Oladipo will fit well with the Knicks, the Raptors, and the Heat. But those other teams, nah, I don't like them on the Suns. I don't like him definitely on the Nets, and I definitely don't like him on what was the other team? The Timberwolves. I don't want him in Minnesota. No. But let me know. But what he said is he wants to go to Miami. So we'll see how this ends up. Tell me, should Oladipo stay in Houston, or should Oladipo, what team do you think he should go to? I think he should go to the Heat. I think the Heat or the Raptors would be the best choice for him. Let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you would like to donate to the page, you could donate to the Cash App. Welcome, the word welcome, the number 2, and an HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Deezy.